Hey everyone, it's Lexie. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free review of Secrets of a Charmed Life by Susan Meissner. And for those of you who don't know, this was the Tales and Teacups book club pick for the month of September this year. So this is just going to be kind of like my spoiler-free review of it, so don't worry, I won't have any kind of throw in any tidbits up here. Basically the moral of the story is about a girl who is doing who's a history major at Oxford, and she is doing kind of a project where she has to interview someone who lived through the Blitz during World War II. So she ends up crossing paths with this girl named Isabel, and Isabel is kind of revealing everything that happened. She hasn't spoken anything about basically what happened during this time for basically 60 years, and this is the first time she's actually coming clean about everything. So it's like, so as she's telling this story, we kind of flash back to London in the 1940s, where we follow Emmy, who is a very ambitious teenager, and then her younger sister Julia, who are kind of living in London kind of right before the Germans start to come and kind of bomb London. So while they're there, Emmy has, she really wants to design wedding dresses. So when she's there, she kind of gets an opportunity to kind of showcase her drawings to someone who's kind of very influential in this kind of field. But right when she's about to kind of meet this man, she and her sister end up getting sent to the countryside, like mandatory, they have to go. So, and then while this is happening, Emmy is still very upset about everything that happened, how she kind of has to run away. And she is very, 8 years older than her sister. She's 15, so she's kind of right at the cutoff for mandatory kind of being sent out to the countryside. So she's kind of really torn between going back and following her dreams. There hasn't been any bombings at all. They're thinking nothing's really gonna happen. So Emmy and her sister end up living in the countryside with this older woman and her sister. So, and they welcome them in as family. They have they respect them, they feed them, they clothe them, there's a very good situation. But Emmy is still determined on following her dreams, so as a result she ends up running away one night, and her sister kind of sees what's going on, and she's kind of forced to take Julia with her. And so while this is happening, they go back to London, and then I'll just kind of leave it at that. So I'll basically leave the synopsis there as that, because I think that's as much as you need to know. But essentially, I had kind of really mixed feelings about this book. I know for the first part of the book, where basically Emmy is really determined, she doesn't care how her actions impact others, especially during a time of war. She's very naive, and she's just kind of going with the flow. She doesn't think how everything is gonna come and impact her. So as a result, I found it to be very annoying. I felt I don't know, it just really irritated me. It drove me nuts, and I was there were many times throughout the book where I had to stop reading, because that's how much Emmy's decisions and what she was doing and saying really drove me nuts. But kind of once I got past that point, and then once we kind of get to the pivotal point at the end of part one, that's where I really kind of got it to be very invested in the book. This author is very good at writing, and she has a really good gift for it. So that part was really good. I just found that character to be very very annoying, and it drove me nuts. But once we kind of got past that part, and then something happens, and so that's where the book really I got really invested in it. I really enjoyed how London during the Blitz became center stage. We got to kind of see a first-hand experience of it, and then I kind of also we got to see a lot of growth with Emmy in here as well, just how much she's changed basically when we're first introduced to her, when she's a young ambitious 15-year-old with dreams of drawing wedding dresses and designing them. And then kind of as the story progresses, I really like that. So I really enjoyed the middle third of it, and then kind of the last little bit of it is written in diary entries, and it kind of, I felt the book with that kind of did lose a lot of momentum in here, just because it was told basically through narration, and then it was kind of with diary entries, and I think the book did kind of lose some of the momentum that it did gain during the second time, and you kind of get a really, I felt like very disconnected during this part, and I just kind of was like, okay, I just want to get through just to see, like I really kind of speed read the last bit. But I really liked kind of the overall message of it. I will say kind of as, I guess this author used to write Christian literature, and she's kind of branched off into stuff that's not really like that. So I know a lot of the reviews on Goodreads were kind of complaining that this isn't a Christian book, so just kind of be aware if you do think it's going to be like a Christian book, it's not. There was one review that I thought was really funny. I'll link it down below so you can go check it out, but me and my sister, I sent it to her and had a good laugh with it, but because someone thought it was going to be a Catholic, like, or sorry, a Christian book, and it wasn't. But yeah, so just don't go expecting it to be like very religious, so, which is what I prefer. I don't really like religious books, but yeah, this one, I liked the overall message of it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I liked the kind of overall message and the story of it. There were parts of it that I think could have been done a lot better, and I think kind of the ending with having it done in like kind of journal articles or like journal entries kind of was lazy and a bit rushed, but overall I really love the message of this book. Like, there is one quote in here that I have underlined right here, you can see. So yeah, like just kind of like the meaning of the title, I thought. So like once you get to that, I'll just say the page if you've read it, so you can go, you'll know what I mean. But it's on page 384 for this edition. But overall it was an okay book. Like, I enjoyed basically a good part of this book. There are parts that I did find irritating, and I think like a reason why they made Emmy so like annoying is basically because to show how much growth she'll have during this, like how much growth she had like throughout the course of the book and all that. But it was a really interesting story, just about crossroads and just being aware of like how your choices impact others and the repercussions of that. So, and I liked how it kind of integrated the Blitz, because I did read The Secret Keeper by Kate Morton that kind of had the Blitz stuff too, and I find that stuff really interesting, just kind of people's lives during this time. I think it's just really interesting. So yeah, this one is an okay book, not one of my favorites. I think I like A Fall of Marigolds a lot better than this one, but it still was a decent read. So like I said, 3.5 out of 5 stars, pretty decent read. Not my favorite, but you know, it was good somewhat. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. Let me know in the comments below if you've read this book and what you kind of think of it. So yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.